343 miles per hour. That's how fast she was going when the bike lost control. It skidded more than a mile across the salt and she walked away. But Valerie Thompson didn't stop there. She came back even faster, reaching for 300+ miles per hour on a motorcycle. Will she make it this time? So, Valerie Thompson was born in 1967 in Tacoma, Washington. Later in life, she settled in Scottsdale, Arizona. This place would eventually become her home base for chasing speed records. But long before she was known as the fastest woman on two wheels, Valerie had built a completely different kind of career. She worked in finance and corporate banking, living a stable and conventional life. Everything changed in her late 30s when she made an incredibly bold decision to leave it all behind and become a motorcycle racer. That decision alone set her apart. Most professional racers start young, often in their teens or even earlier. Valerie started racing in her late 30s, with no big sponsors backing her and no factory team behind her. She entered the world of drag racing, piloting Harley-Davidson V-Rods in AHDRA events, and quickly gained attention for her fearless riding style. Despite being an outsider in a male-dominated sport and an independent racer with limited funding, she was relentless. Her drive, her discipline, and her belief in herself helped her rise through the ranks, eventually becoming one of the most respected names in land speed racing. Something that scared her in all the right ways. Every track became a proving ground, not just against speed, but against doubt. In a sport where very few women even try, she decided not only to enter, but to dominate. And while others were checking boxes in life, Valerie was checking tire pressure, studying wind speed, and lining up for the ride of her life. This was no midlife crisis. This was her mission, and she was just getting started. And once Valerie tasted speed, she wanted more. As Valerie's skills sharpened on the drag strip, she began looking for new challenges, ones that involved not just speed, but extreme, sustained velocity. That's when she shifted gears into land speed racing, where motorcycles are pushed to their absolute mechanical and aerodynamic limits. It was here that she truly found her calling. Her first major breakthrough came at the legendary Bonneville Salt Flats. There, she earned her way into the exclusive 200+ miles per hour club, a milestone few riders ever reach. Over the years, she racked up records across top racing venues, including the Texas Mile, Mojave, and ECTA events. Each time she pushed her limits farther and entered the elite 300+ miles per hour club more than once. In 2016, Valerie made history at the Bonneville Motorcycle Speed Trials, reaching an astonishing 304 miles per hour. That run earned her the title of the world's fastest female motorcycle racer at the time, and this record cemented her place in racing history. But she wasn't finished. In 2018, during Australia's DLRA Speed Week, she took on the Bub 7 Streamliner. It was a purpose-built, rocket-like motorcycle designed to break the all-time motorcycle land speed record of 376 miles per hour. On the salt flats of Lake Gardner, she hit a staggering 328.467 miles per hour. It became the fastest officially recorded run by a woman on two wheels. Beyond streamliners, she's also set records on production bikes like the BMW S1000RR, clocking 217.7 miles per hour at the Texas Mile. Whether on modified superbikes or jet-shaped streamliners, Valerie has proved again and again that she's not just fast, she's world-class. To understand what makes Valerie Thompson's achievements so extraordinary, you have to understand the machine she rides, and what it takes to survive at over 300 miles per hour. One of her most iconic vehicles is the Bub 7 Streamliner, a custom-built motorcycle that looks more like a land rocket than a bike. designed from the ground up with one mission in mind: to break the 400 miles per hour barrier. The Bub 7 is powered by a finely tuned V4 engine and shaped by extensive wind tunnel testing. Every inch of its body is engineered to cut through the air with as little resistance as possible. At those speeds, the rider becomes part of the machine. Valerie must lie in an extremely tight aerodynamic position inside the cockpit, keeping her body perfectly aligned to reduce drag. Even the smallest movement can throw off the balance, and at 300 plus miles per hour, the forces acting on the human body are intense. Wind resistance creates violent turbulence. The forces press against the chest and neck, and the visibility is minimal. It takes absolute control over balance, breath, and reaction time. Land speed records are usually attempted on natural salt flats, like Bonneville in Utah or Lake Gardner in Australia. The surface has to be smooth, dry, and firm. Wind direction can make or break a run, so even small changes in temperature or air density can affect top speed. That's why teams spend days testing the conditions, calibrating equipment, and waiting for the perfect moment. Valerie takes it all very seriously. She's known for her methodical approach, checking every system before a run, reviewing performance data afterward, and working closely with her crew to spot even the smallest issues. In a sport where a fraction of a second means the difference between a record and a crash, that attention to detail isn't optional. It's survival. But speed always comes with risk. And in 2018, Valerie faced the most terrifying moment of her career. During the World Speed Trials in Australia, she was pushing the Bub 7 Streamliner past 340 miles per hour. Everything was going according to plan, until it wasn't. In an instant, the Streamliner lost control and veered off course.
No.
What followed was a crash at 343 miles per hour. The vehicle skidded across the salt for more than a mile before finally coming to a stop. For most people, that would have been the end. But incredibly, Valerie walked away from the wreck fine. The reinforced carbon fiber cockpit protected her from the worst of the impact. Advanced helmet technology, crash gear, and drag chute systems all worked together to save her life. It was a testament to both the engineering behind the machine and to her own resilience. The images from that crash stunned the racing world as a crushed streamliner spread across the salt like a broken spaceship. Many called it a miracle. But Valerie processed the trauma with a clarity and toughness few athletes ever display. Physically, she was bruised. But emotionally, the impact ran deeper. Surviving a crash at that speed leaves scars, and not all of them are visible. In interviews after, she spoke about fear. She didn't pretend that it doesn't exist, but learned how to ride through it. That's what separates thrill seekers from legends. Even after that harrowing experience, Valerie didn't quit. She took her time and processed what had happened, worked with her team to investigate every detail of the crash, and eventually made the choice to keep going. And she returned back to the track just weeks later with more enthusiasm. That decision to come back stronger instead of stepping away says as much about her as any world record ever could. The truth is that Valerie had faced challenges long before that crash. As an independent racer, she's often operated without the big money sponsorships that support other high-speed teams. While others had factory backing and large-scale budgets, Valerie built her own path. While Valerie's pushing the laws of physics to chase her dream, you just have to push a button. Subscribe now, as legends like this don't come around often. Valerie Thompson's story is more than just records and speed. It's about changing the face of motorsports. Back in 2017, she made history by becoming the first woman ever appointed to the board of the Bonneville 200 miles per hour club, one of the most exclusive groups in land speed racing. A year later, she was inducted into the Sturgis Motorcycle Hall of Fame, honoring her achievements and her influence on the sport. Her nickname, America's Queen of Speed, is a reflection of the respect she's earned, especially among young women and girls who see her as proof that anything is possible. Valerie has become a true role model, not just because of her speed, but because of her visibility and commitment to lifting others up. She regularly appears in panels and interviews focused on women in motorsports, using her platform to support and mentor other female riders. Whether it's speaking at events, attending motorcycle expos, or mentoring aspiring racers, she's always present and engaged. Her story has also reached wider audiences through media and film. Valerie has been featured in documentaries like Why We Ride, Rockets and Titans, and Mega Speed. All of these showcase her passion and place in motorcycle history. But one of the breakthrough moments that brought her into the public eye came from an unexpected place. It's a GoDaddy Super Bowl commercial. It wasn't about racing, but it gave her a national spotlight, and she used it to bring more attention to motorsports and the role women play in it. Today, Valerie Thompson is still chasing history. Her biggest goal now is to break the all-time motorcycle land speed record of 376 miles per hour. That number isn't just a benchmark. It's the limit that very few have ever approached, and none have yet surpassed on two wheels. She continues to work with her team on developing new versions of the Bub 7 Streamliner, making aerodynamic improvements and pushing the machine closer to perfection. Every run brings her one step closer to that ultimate title. But Valerie's vision goes beyond just speed. She's building a legacy, one that will last far beyond the racetrack. She's been featured in books like History of Speed and Bonneville's Women of Land Speed Racing, documenting her journey for future generations. She also plays an active role in supporting safety innovations for high-speed racing, working with teams and engineers to improve protection systems and crash response measures. Her experience, both as a racer and a survivor, brings critical insight into the future of the sport. There are even talks of collaborations with aerospace and engineering programs, where her knowledge of high-speed dynamics could influence technology beyond motorcycles. From racing to rocket science, her work is starting to reach across industries. Outside the track, Valerie continues to surprise people. Recently, she gained attention for competing in professional pickleball tournaments, showing that her competitive drive doesn't end with motorcycles. She's also active in podcasts, technical seminars, and motorsports events, where she shares her story and speaks on everything from racing mechanics to personal growth. At the heart of it all, Valerie remains a strong advocate for the next generation, especially for women looking to enter STEM fields, racing, and extreme sports. She's helping open doors that were once closed, showing young people that if you're willing to work for it, no dream is off limits. So, from office worker to the Queen of Speed, Valerie Thompson isn't just fast, she's fearless, and her journey is still accelerating. What did you think of her story, and which extreme record should we cover next? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the ride, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss the next thrilling chase.